that you feel you pick from the last class? Just based on your own understanding.
Yeah, a lot. But do you mind skip down, please, a little bit?
Sorry?
I'm sorry. Can you give me a moment to settle down, please?
No problem, no problem, no problem.
Very
No
much,
problem.
yeah.
So Mr. Samuel, am I right? How many people do you have here today? Any problem with the I'm having like 5 students today. Okay, so let's just wait a bit of 5 minutes so that we can get more students in. I think people are still joining before we start today's lecture. Mr. Samuel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Were you in the last class?
Yes, I was in the last class.
Can you just share with us 1 or 2 things you picked up from the last class discussion based on your own understanding?
Okay, vividly, the things I can still remember we talked about procurement.
Okay.
Then I can remember when you are talking about that procurement is different from, I think, purchasing.
Okay, yes.
And you were being able to explain deep and expatiate about it. Then we talked about procurement management too.
Okay, okay, okay.
So those are the little points I jot down.
Thank you so much for that brief explanation. Right, so let's just wait a bit so that we can get more people in so that Mr. Oladimeji Dayo, you are welcome. You are welcome. Can you confirm if you can hear me? Mr. Dayo, can you confirm if you can hear me? Hello? Okay, more people are coming in. More people are coming in. Mr. Michael, welcome. Some people's internet are bits. All right. Can we continue by our class?
Okay, I have a question slide. This is Faith.
Okay, Mr. Faith. Hello,
Okay, very small question like that. Okay, with regards to bidding.
Okay.
Request for one of the options is responsive and lowest price. That's one option. The other one is best value. So I was going to ask about responsive. In what sense?
Okay,
defined and clarified.
Responsive means okay. When you ask people to bid, right? you have set a particular deadline, and you have set a particular requirement. When you say responsive, who are those people that finally respond to your bid within the given deadline? Are you getting my point now? So it's just a way of saying, okay, I'm going to pick the lowest person that responds to my bid, right? So because the point why you bring that responsive is that people might send in their quotation that are actually for outside your deadline. And if you probably follow our discussion that day, you will realize that I don't know if I pointed it out. The reason why you want to set, when you are setting out, when you're asking people to submit bid, there's always a cutoff date. After that date, any further bid that comes in will not be treated, right? So, what we are basically saying that a responsive bid is okay. This entire everybody has submitted their bid. We are assuming there's a basic assumption that every submitter at that particular point within our cutoff dates have the technical capacity to execute that job. So if you are coming with that basis, then we can pick the lowest quotation price and give it to the person to execute. It's more like you're asking 3 vendors to supply you a gas, maybe R22, for example, one from Alaba, one from Yaba, maybe one from Winnipeg market. And based on your relationship with all of them, you are confident that whatever they are supplying you is the original gas, it's not a fake gas or something, whatever. They are credible and reliable supplier. Now, the 3 of them give you a quote, and one said, oh, I'm going to give you the gas, one gas, each gas for, let's say, 15,000. Another one says, oh, I'm going to give you for 13,500. And there's another one that tells you that I'm going to give you for 17K, right? By the basis of the lower responsive, whatever, I will go with the 13,500, right? Because I believe the 3 of them are capable of supplying that, but the lowest is 13,500. So I go with that, and I award the contract to that to supply. That was what that particular section is talking about.
Okay, so we could say the one that is compliant.
Yes, compliant,
compliant.
and the one that is compliant and at the lowest price.
Your class is okay. Sorry, just to add, your class and maybe this one to me, because somehow in the last 3 years,
okay,
it's more of procurement and bidding projects and all of that.
Okay.
During your class. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so let's just go straight to today's class. Today we'll be talking about FM technology. And interestingly, FM technology is actually one of my favorite aspects of facility management. If some of you, probably those who are following me on LinkedIn and the likes, who probably will have figured that I talk more on FM technology and the likes. So today I'll just probably be sharing my experience, my understanding, and the likes with respect to FM technology. My name still remains the same. I am Engineer Visaya Anema Shaun. So we are here in Max-Migold to provide knowledge, share our experience, and the likes. Our housekeeping rule still remains the same. So the objective basically is to participants should be able to understand how technology can improve facility management at every level of the organization, understand the aspect of the implementation process, gain familiarity with a variety of tools which are deployed in facility management to solve problems. The module is quite short with respect to the other two we have taken. So here we have the rationale for FM technology, strategy, layout, groundworks, deployment process, planning to post implementation, useful application of FM technology, a look at FM software. Then finally, we look at barrier to effective FM technology deployment. Okay, so before I dive into the contents of the material, can somebody just define facility management for us with respect to Ifman definition? If anybody, can somebody just define what FM is? What is facility management? Anybody? Anybody who can help us just explain what you understand by facility management? I can see Kisley here. Madam Faith, can you hear me? It is very important for us to understand the word FM technology from the standpoint of what FM is as a whole, as a body of knowledge, and that was the reason why I was trying to get someone to probably explain or probably give the definition of what facility management is all about. But since it's looking like all of us, we are shy on this call this afternoon or this evening rather. So let me just help us out. Is somebody saying something?
Yeah, Kingsley, sir.
Oh, good. So Mr. Kingsley, do you want to help us out?
Yeah, just a brief summary of what facility management is like.
Okay.
Facility management is the management of people,
Yes.
management of property, and
Yes.
ensuring life and safety of everyone. It's just a brief summary of what it is like.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. Well, there's some keywords you missed out of that. Facility management talks about management of places, people, process, and technology. So that's why we call it 3P and T, right? Place, people, process, and technology. Are you getting my point? That's the basic key thing when you are defining facility management. You are looking at the places, which is the physical structure. You are looking at the people who are the occupants of that space. You are looking at the process, which is the businesses, the core businesses and the various business activities carried out within that space. Then we are looking at the technology, the connecting technology. Now, when we are talking about technology in FM, we are not just talking about your fancy curtain system, right? It goes beyond that. As of now, we talk about smart buildings, we talk about Internet of Things, which is IoTs. There's a BMS solution, which is building management system. We are talking about BIM, which is building information modeling. There's a lot of technology relating to FM management. So it's not just talking about a segment of it, it's talking about the entire envelope of technology within the FM space. When it comes to when you are deploying technology with respect to the management or to enhance the business processes or the activities carried out within a space, that can be termed as FM technology. I think they are good. I think IFMA has a very good handbook on that. If I probably get a soft copy of it, I'll probably share it on the WhatsApp group. You can probably read extensively on that if it's something you enjoy or something you are probably interested to probably venture into on the long. Interestingly, it is quite interesting that in Nigeria, hardly can you probably find about 10 to 20 people that are actually experts in FM technology. A lot of people might probably know a lot of theories and the likes and some fancy name, but a lot of us, a lot of practicing FM professionals, I can say with confidence that probably 80 to 70 to 80% of us have never really engaged with any FM technology in our years of career. Luckily for me, I was first introduced to, I think, CAFM system, but in the form of what we call ERP, that's Enterprise Resources Plan, which is the common business process solution you can find in most organizations that are probably technology. They are running a kind of a technology-driven business processes, where I was introduced to a simple CMMS solution, which is the computerized maintenance management system, in 2014 when I start out my FM journey, and since then I've probably experimented on quite a number of them, and at the moment I'm actually working on one for one of our clients. We're trying to deploy an e-facility management solution, and I'm the main resource person working on the configuration and the likes and the likes. So it's an interesting stuff. It's quite a unique specialization. If probably you are looking into FM consultancy on the long run, it's an aspect you might probably think you should probably explore. Microsoft has some interesting solution with regards to that. There's the what do you call them? The Microsoft Dynamics 360 ERP that you can learn for free and play around that and see if you can use that to come up with a simple CMMM solution. You have the Power BI that you can use for your analytics and come up with interesting dashboard that you can use to see the entire. So those are just homemade solution, not the enterprise solution that are quite available in the market. But for Nigeria, I don't think we have anyone except Instanta. Instanta, they are trying, but they are not there yet with respect to what is expected of a normal CAFM or CMMS solution, but they are trying. But we hope, even in Max-Migold, we are open to launch our own solution anytime from now. So I'll be explaining some of the pitfalls and some of the things you should look out for when trying to deploy an FM solution in your organization. So it must be served. Okay, when we talk about FM technology, we'll say it must serve the need of the business, not the other way. One of the major mistakes a lot of people make when deploying technology, especially to business, they are trying to bend the business processes to suit the software, whereas you're supposed to bend the software suit this the business solution. So basically, you're supposed to bring a technical solution, right, and adapt that to your business, not trying to adapt a business to a technical solution, right? Technology are tools, right? They are tools being developed to enhance business processes. And when it comes to tools, tools should be used, right, to solve problems, right? Problems should not be used, right, to work the tool, right? I don't know, it's more like you want to, you have a horse and you have a cat, right? You don't put the cat before the horse, you put the horse before the cat, because the horse drives the cat. The same way when it comes to deployment or adoption of technology to your facility management processes, you have to ensure that the technology is flexible enough to adapt whatever your business processes is. All right. Business processes is different from technology, right? Business processes is talking about the interrelationship between one department and the other. How do you communicate? How do you pass information, right? How do you collaborate and the like and the like, right? So before the advent of technology, we probably use paper-based approach to run our processes and the like. When you are bringing in technology, it still doesn't change your internal processes. What your technology should do is to enhance, right? By increasing efficiency, increasing speed, right? Cutting out wastage in time of time or probably time of resources like papers and the likes and the like. So when you bring in technology you should not be trying. When you bring in anytime you are trying to bend your processes to suit a technology, that technology is not made for your business. It's a wrong choice of technology. So those are one of the key things you have to pay attention to when adopting technology to your FM processes. We define business processes and to seek to utilize technology to improve an argument. Like I said, technology is used in businesses to enhance, or when we say argument means to support, right? Technology is not to replace your business process, but technology is made to support, to enhance, to improve. So when you are trying to pick a technology for either for yourself internally or for your clients, you have to understand what exactly is the client doing, or what exactly are we doing, right? What is our processes? How does this technology comes in to enhance whatever we are doing internally? Before the advent of maybe emails, what we probably would have been doing then was to write paper letter, go to the post office, then post it and wait for some days for the other person to get whatever we have sent and reply. But technology came in and they invented email. Now, email is just a digital representation of that process of sending letters, right? For you to send an email, you probably need an email client, Google, Microsoft, and the like. You open an account with them the same way you open an account in a post office where you have a post address and the stuff like that. Based on that, when you have your unique whatever, you write your email, you log in, you write your email, and you press send. The whole idea of writing and whatever is the same, is similar to your paper writing. Sending is similar to taking it to your post office, and your post office takes it and take it to the other person. Gets delivered, the person reads your email and probably reply you. The basic steps are the same thing. The only thing is that the other one is physical, this one is virtual. He doesn't replace the process, but probably cut off wastage along the way. Instead of working and wasting time or whatever, you can do that at the comfort of your home. Now we have smartphones. You can probably send email on a go without thinking twice. You know, I have my small smartphone here. I can receive emails, I can reply to emails, and do a lot of interesting stuff on the mobile. So laying down the groundwork for technology, like I said, technology is to enhance whatever you are trying to do. And that's why it's very important to define clearly your FM deliverable from the onset. And make them the focus throughout the entire deployment process. What we are trying to explain here is that before you pick a piece of technology to adapt to your FM processes, it is very important for you to understand what are your FM deliverables. What we mean by FM deliverable is that if I'm going to carry out an FM process or FM services, what is the client expecting or the customer expecting as output of the FM? Oh, they want a very cool space. They want a very clean environment. They want a nice smelling environment. probably they want an automated system where when they come into when you're trying to come into the office at the entrance, the door opens on its own, it closes back, right? They want to have a tag where everybody have like an access card to probably put at the door to have access. And people that do not have that are restricted to cut down on using manual security at every door within the premises. So those are some of the deliverables that you might be trying to achieve. Then next question will now be, what kind of technology can I deploy for me to achieve that? And when you are trying to when you pick up a piece of technology to adopt to your FM processes, you have to keep a focus high on what the deliverable is, so that by the time you are implementing the technology, you'll be looking at the different facets of that technology. Okay, this particular phase, does it address deliverable 1? Does it address deliverable 2, deliverable 3? Is all the entire deliverable we are trying to achieve, is it covered in the scope of this technology? Because the point is, if you don't know what you want to get out of a piece of technology, computer is very interesting. Computer is what we call garbage in, garbage out. If you put rubbish, you get rubbish, which means that if you don't guide what goes into your system to ensure that whatever you're going to get at the end of the day is exactly what you intend the piece of technologies to give you, it's going to mess you up, and it's going to mess up your entire operation. Handover of deliverable documentation must be in standard digital format for FM application. Today we talked about COBE. COBE is the standard for information exchange within the built environment. I think it stands for construction operation. I can't remember what the B is all about, but I is talking about information and the E is talking about exchange. Is the golden standard when it comes to digital information exchange within the built environment. For those of you who are in construction, who are in building, probably have done a bit from architectural background, civil background, you are probably, or maybe building background, you have probably heard about graphic soft, you have heard about Autodesk, and those are what we call software vendors, right? Where you want to probably design your building. At the end of the day, as far as those fancy software is all about, at the end of the day, as far as FM is concerned, we need what we call a COBE file. And what is a COBE file? A COBE file is just an Excel file that is extracted for whatever fancy model they have done. And that Excel file is super powerful because it contains all the information about your assets in that Excel file. If it's done properly, you can use that particular Excel file to load up the entire building information into your facility management application for use. FM data implementation should commence concurrently with the building construction. Data should be populated in an incremental and pragmatic way so as to keep the process manageable and valuable to all. Sadly, you won't get that in most places, especially in Nigeria. Abroad, maybe because of their building code and some regulatory requirements, you might find an FM professional. You can find. Thank you very much for that. Building operation, construction operation, building information exchange. Thank you for that. That's Michael. Thank you for that. I was not sure if the B is building, so I don't want to. But thank you for that. I really appreciate that. So in Nigeria, there's this basic misconception that the facility manager is only relevant when the building has been finished and it's just for them to manage. But the point is, everything that goes on in the construction has the consequences at the later stage of the building. When you talk about building life cycle, there are three stages. There are three stages to building life cycle. We talk about, or some can call it 4 stages. When we talk about 3 stages, that I'm looking at the design, construction, and the post-construction, which is the operational phase. But some can say it's 4 phases, where we're talking about the conceptual phase, where that's the phase where we bat the idea that, oh, we want to build a 20-story building. At that point, we have not done any design. We just come up with the idea, and at that point, we are coming up with just paper plan, right? We are just planning, oh, if it's 20-story building, what is the size of land do we need? What location should we put it? What is the functional need of this building? Because those are the information when you are gathering those kind of requirements. Those are what you need to give to your design department, to the architect, to the civil engineer, to the mechanical and the electrical engineer, so that they can take this conceived plan and convert it into a digital representation of whatever the idea is, right? So the conceptual stage, which is more like the planning stage, we have the design stage, which is more of translation of the planning or the conceptual or the concept into a digital representation. Then you have the construction, which is converting the digital representation of your building, either in a 2D format, which is the AutoCAD and the like, on the 3D representation, where we talked about the building information modeling, and you convert it into a physical representation of what your building should look like. Now, after then, you do your commissioning, your handover, then we'll move to the operational phase, which is when the building starts to be used. And interestingly, a typical building, depending on the complexity, may take up to 5 years or 10 years from conceptual stage to final handover. But interestingly, that same building might probably run for 50 or 100 years when it comes to operational phase, which means the facility manager professional spent a lot of time with that building, right? So which means that if someone is going to spend a larger percentage of time, right, trying to ensure the sustainability and preserve the value of your building, don't you think that person should actually be from the beginning of that project, so that it can advise on what should go into the production of that particular building, so that at the later days of managing the building, the cost of management will not be that expensive, because you will have factor profitability into your construction, maintainability into your construction, maybe portability, and a lot of stuff will have gone, a lot of operational consideration will have gone into your planning, and that will have been translated into the design and into the construction. But in an ideal situation, an FM is expected to be part of the planning team, and during the planning and the conceptual phases, and during the design, the FM also act like a quality assurance and quality control personnel to ensure that the customer requirements are being implemented. And that also, when it comes to the construction stage, the FM ought to be there, either as a client representative, to ensure that the needed data needed for documentation that will be useful during the operational phase of the building are well documented and collected. And if done properly, at the operational end, you have enough data to probably run your building. Most of the time, probably in Nigeria, we are always handed over some thousands of documents from the design and construction stage. When the building has been completed, then, like, I think the last project I managed like that, I was given about 13,000 plus files, both PDFs, Word documents, AutoCAD documents, and so many, in the flash drive. Then I have to figure out, what do I need? What do I need to quickly set up a maintenance management program and the like and that, and you discover that you have little time between when the building has been commissioned and when the operational activity kicks in, right? And everybody expects you to perform miracle, just do your one like this and everything is in place, but it doesn't work like that. But interestingly, we assume that in an ideal stage, when FM data implementation should commence concurrently during the building construction. The reason why we are saying this is because during the construction, there might be a lot of changes from the design, variation, and the like. So when we are collecting data in an incremental format, when a particular portion of the building has been completed and everything has been signed off to be okay by whoever the project manager and everything, we can get that particular information, load it into our prep. If you have a carpet system at the point, or maybe you are using a standard Excel, I think we are loading those information gradually. By the time the building is done, we already have all the necessary data we needed to use to run our operation. Inputting data incremental ensure a quality delivery, because waiting until the end might result into a large data dump after the interest in the project has faded and contractors are moving on to their next job. I think I'll probably put a better explanation to this. So let's move forward. Proactive facility management, addressing concurrent FM, addressing current FM problem with technology for operational readiness and planning lifecycle facility management with technology. This is probably just explaining how can you be proactive as an FM manager, right? We said addressing FM problem with technology, right? You do not see where we say addressing technology with FM problem, meaning that you need to adopt a technology to solve an FM problem, not the other way around. We want to adopt, so probably have a particular problem in your organization. You can tap into, for example, a simple example is, let's assume I have a facility where, I have a facility where I have a diesel, and I discovered that I think there's a diesel theft around the diesel tank. I just discovered that, yes, maybe last week we loaded about maybe 20,000 liters of diesel, and we have not really run that far, and we discovered that 50% of diesel is gone. And we look at our generator log, we don't really see a substantial use of generator, but we are seeing a larger consumption of diesel. Then we are like, what is going on? Right? The first approach people that are not proactive in their thinking, they will like, oh, let's put more security people there. Well, your security people can be bribed, and you still end up with the same problem. But do you know that a simple introduction of just CCTV, you introduce a CCTV with a remote access, that is to say, well, whoever the owner of the business is can probably log into his or her iPad to see whatever is happening at the diesel end, and probably can look at what happened in the past 24 hours to see if any funny thing has been happening around that. You can even do it in such a way that your CCTV camera has some motion sensors where when you find somebody at that diesel area at a given point in time, it probably alerts the user that probably in a snapshot or whatever to indicate that somebody comes to that place. Even though as computer, I don't know exactly what is doing there, but somebody came there. So I can go to the CCTV and watch what is Mustafa doing at the diesel tank now, right? So that will help us to uncover and solve the problem. And when everybody knows that they are being monitored, nobody wants to play with their job. We talk of technology for operational readiness. We have discussed the movement of the gradual movement of okay, we talked about different building different phases during the lifespan of a building, and we talked about the conceptual, the design, the construction, and the operation, right? The period between when the construction is ending and when you move into full operational activity is what we call operational readiness planning. At that point, you are trying to configure your system, come up with plans. You want to design maybe your PPM. You want to come up with your work schedule. You want to probably recruit people. You want to know how many cleaners you need so that the building will run operationally. You want to come up with your work schedules and the likes and the likes. That entire planning, trying to get data and everything, that entire planning can be fully automated. And the adoption of technology to that portion, right, to that period where you are moving from the construction to the operational phase of your building is what we are actually discussing here. Then when we talk about life cycle facility management with technology, basically what we are talking about your asset management process, where you are using a technology like CMMS, for example, to manage the entire plant preventive maintenance, corrective maintenance, maintenance deferment log, and the likes. You use it to track when your assets needed to be replaced. You need to track the current market cost, and a lot of interesting stuff, where as a facility manager, you can get real life information or real life data about your assets at a given point in time. If you use the right technology or your technology is defined properly, that means I can click on an asset, and when I click on that, the system can give me a brief history of all the maintenance activities that have gone into that asset, everything that have changed, what is the current, what is the lifespan, when will I need to replace it, and if I configure it, it can even predict what the likely replacement cost will be, right? Those are quite interesting stuff. So those three aspects of your facility management activities, you can use technology to address all of them, and the ability to think in that direction make you a very proactive and I'll probably say a world-class FM, because in the same carpet system we are going to use in Nigeria, we are probably going to find in US, in Canada. Probably the only difference is probably the vendor name, or probably some interesting, maybe change in configuration to suit a particular company and their internal processes. Strategic asset lifecycle planning, capital replacement, improvement, emergency preparedness, business continuity planning. You can use it can adopt technology to space management, operation maintenance planning and budgets, operation routine inspection, O&M execution, and so on and so forth. So how do we plan? What happened to post? So it's not just about deploying a fancy technology. Oh, we have this technology we bought for 300 and something million naira. We can do this. We can, like the Yoruba people will say, the facility only is to delay, you know. You can turn heaven to ground. You can turn ground to heaven, you know. It's very robust. It's very fancy, whatever. And probably the software that tell you, oh, it's COVID compliant, is this, is that. You can calculate, you can monitor this, you can monitor. All fine and good. But what happens after you finish installing it, right? At the end of the day, can your people use it? Do you even understand the system? Can you use that system to its full potential, right? How usable is the product, right? So that's why it's very important for you to plan for your post-implementation period. Basically, in your post-implementation period, the focus is more on training, how to ensure that people who are supposed to manage the building can make use of the software. It is adaptable to your business processes and the like. Why do we build? The real objective. End users live, learn, work, play, worship, final rest. However, about business consideration, guarantee investment return, business productivity, ensuring functionality, aesthetics, well-being, safety for the end user. Preserve and grow asset value with maintenance and capital planning. Construction project often meets the point of operational readiness by focusing exclusively on the traditional constraints of scope, schedule, and cost. So, what we are trying to say here basically is that when you are planning for a piece of equipment that needs to be in for your facility management process, you have to put into consideration the post-implementation. When we say post-implementation, what is implementation itself? Implementation simply means the period at which the software is configured for your unique business need, right? So let's assume Microsoft is a piece of equipment, a piece of technology that we want to use for our business processes. Then we give someone in the office some change to go to Computer Village to go and buy Microsoft offices for us, so that when it comes back, it can come and help us with the installation. The process of taking that piece of software, either in CDs or flash drive, and we install it and configure it into the end user system or laptop or computer, right? That the solution is ready to be deployed for use is what we call implementation, right? Post-implementation is the period, the period of use, right? You have bought this software, you have installed the software, you have configured it, now it's ready for use. That period of ready for use is what we call post-implementation period. And at that point, our major focus is on the end users, people who are going to use the software. So pre-implementation process is many IT initiatives fail due to poor planning and execution. Carefully select an implementation team members who are passionate about the quality improvement, committed to open communication, well respected in the organization, who understand the benefits of FM technology, have decision-making ability, who can collaborate well with others, collaborate well together, clearly define the role, responsibility, and timeline. Here we are basically looking at the the deployment of FM technology is considered a project, right? And most of the things we are trying to define here are just more of processes that we are adopting to the deployment of a piece of technology to support FM operations. Source selection process. How do you determine what piece of technology you want to adapt to your FM? Like I said, as of today, Nigeria, at the top of my head, I know about two. Okay, I know about, well, I think I know about a lot of FM solutions in the market. Majority of them are not in Nigeria. I think I know of Fix It. I know of, I think I know of, I can't remember the name. I think there's I know of Instata, a local. I know of e-facility, which I'm currently working on. I've experimented with Fix It. I know of Maximo. Maximo is a very complex one. There's one called UBeam. UBeam also use is the way of bringing beam into FM. Maximo is from IBM. They also have beam capability. When you type in CMMS into Google, you have some interesting ones. Some will ask you sign up for a free version for you to understand. So when you go into the market and you look at the market and you look at different technological vendors and you are trying to say, oh, which one should I adopt? Even Microsoft have a technology which is although inside the what do you call it, the Microsoft Dynamics or the Business Central package. The maintenance module can easily be adopted into our CMMM solution. Even SAP, the common SAP we know, has a maintenance management module to run your maintenance activities and the likes. But SAP is more popular with manufacturing companies. Even Microsoft Business Central is popular with manufacturing companies and maybe most multinational companies. I can remember in my former company, we installed Microsoft Dynamics and they configured it for the entire plant. I think that project went for about 100 million naira. When converted, it was installed by some Indians. So basically, when you are trying to gather information to decide which of this piece of software should I use to solve my problem, my FM problem, and the likes and the like, some of the sources of information on what you want to know can come from user workshop, webinars. Most FM whatever will ask you if you need a demo so that they can easily explain what their solution, what their software solution and how it's going to help your business. You can talk to various vendors. You can just, maybe I saw this vendor, I want to have, please, can you tell me more about your processes? How can I adopt this to my facility management process? You want to review Gartner report for best in class? Well, this is basically when you are talking about this is basically an international report that give you an information about different solutions available out there. So they are also a very good source of information. And also, if the company you are working with have funds, you can probably employ the service of a consultant like Max-Migold and some others to help you look into your process and help you come with a decision on which technology to use. You can join an IFMA council. I think in IFMA, they have a council that specifically focus on FM technology. Yeah, so you can, if you're an IFMA member, you can subscribe to that council because they discuss more on FM technology, the current trend, and the like. So they can be a valuable source of information with respect to technology selection. The purchase process. How do you purchase? When you're trying to buy a piece of technology, it is very important for you to look beyond your immediate problem. You should be able to look, what if XYZ happen in the future? What if this? What if that? Will this solution be able to work for me? One of the key things you also want to look at, your internal technology. Will this solution be compatible with our internal technology? You want to talk to your vendor and ask your vendor, what is the support of, what support are they offering, right? Will there be ongoing support for the software? Will there be updates in the future? What is the impact of the update? Does it have a monetary implication and the like? You want to ask, is there availability for training and the like? Determine who owns the data, right? Most FM solutions are cloud-based, which means your data are not owned by you. Your data are not being housed by you. It will always be on the server of the vendor. So you want to understand what happens. So if I'm sending all my asset register, all my internal documents to the cloud on your own server, that's why most of some organizations that are quite sensitive to data will say, please come and install the software on our own internal system, so that we will keep our own data. We'll be in charge of our own data. We don't want to send our own data to you. But because of scalability and people are looking for cheaper solutions, installing an internal system is a bit expensive. So some might probably opt for what we call SaaS, which is what? Software as a service, where they design the software, create it, you just pay for, maybe you pay a monthly fee to have access to the piece of software, and they configure your own unique environment. You can put your own data there and do whatever you want to do. So it is very important you discuss about the ownership of data protection, and the likes and the likes. You don't want to put your sensitive information only for you to discover tomorrow that, oh, some stupid hacker has hacked their system and probably holding your data on ransom until you pay some certain money. It's very important for you to clarify additional or indirect costs while doing comparative, that is data integration cost, support fee, and the likes and the likes, even future update fee, and the likes and the likes. Work backward from the live date. Celebrate the small week along the way. So what we are trying to say is that as you are implementing it, whenever you implement what works for you, celebrate it, tell your story, have an ongoing feedback protocol set up with the vendor. That is to say, once the solution has been implemented, there should be a kind of an open channel between your team and the vendor, where you can say, on this solution, this is working for us. I think we're having problem with this. Is it possible for us to tweak this aspect of this solution, tweak that aspect of that solution? It is very important that you have that feedback protocol going forward. Just give me one minute. So, all right, so it's very important to have that feedback mechanism, because it's not possible for you to implement your solution and have a perfect solution. There will still be glitches here and there, and that when most of these glitches will not be apparent during the implementation stage. Most of them will come out during the post-implementation process, and that's why it is very important for you to set up this feedback protocol, so that whatever issues you discover during the post-implementation period, you can communicate to the vendor and they can fix it. Identify escalation methodology process with the vendor. Well, what we are trying to say is that you should be able to, somebody is saying they are not seeing my screen.
Yes.
You are not seeing my screen. Okay, let me try to stop it.
No, but your screen, I can see your screen.
I can see your screen also.
Who is saying you cannot see my screen?
I am seeing your screen.
Wow.
Sorry?
I can see your
I can see your screen.
Okay, so so anybody that is not seeing my screen, you can log out of your Zoom and log in back.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, since majority can see the screen. So when we talk about escalation, basically what we are talking about is what is the process of if you have an issue and you want to communicate that issue, and probably you are communicating that issue to the vendor, and probably the person in charge of the implementation is not doing something about your whatever, you want to escalate it to a higher person in the organization, there should be a well-defined process in place at the vendor end and at your end, so that if they are trying to also pass across a piece of information the person at your own end too is not responding the way they ought to respond, and they want to escalate. There should be a process defined as, okay, if you want this and you are not getting this as superior, you can escalate, you can send an escalation mail or an escalation call to this person, and to this person. So moving forward, input to your facility management information system from construction. What we are trying to say is that from the construction point of view, what do you need? What do you need to put in? So what do you need to get? What do you need to get from the construction team that you will be needing to, that will serve as an input into your facility management technology? One of them is the as-built drawing. As-built drawing, as the name implies, the drawing that shows the way it was built or the way it is built, right? Is the drawing that shows exactly how a given component within the building has been constructed. That is to say, if I look at the as-built drawing documentation and I go to the site, it should be exactly what I am seeing inside the drawing that should be on site. We need a comprehensive asset register. Interestingly, a lot of companies will expect a facility manager professional to come up with an asset register. But in an ideal situation, you ought to be given the asset register. I shouldn't be the one trying to figure out what has been built. Let me calculate how many switch hours, whatever. It is very important that we understand it, right? But it's not really our job, so to say, to come up. We are supposed to be given an asset register, and we are supposed to work with this asset register with respect of coming up with maintenance management plan, work plan, and the likes and the likes. But well, if you have a very good system where the facility manager is part of the the construction team or the project team, his knowledge or his experience can be leveraged upon while trying to come up with the asset register. We talked about the as-built BOQ, that is bill of quantity. This, as explained in the as-built drawing, is also the list of all the installed items. What are the quantity? What is the cost, right? We bought a sofa, 10 sofa, we bought it for 20 million naira each. There should be a bill of quantity that was used to implement that purchase. As a facility manager, you need that information because that piece of information will be relevant when you are doing your life cycle analysis and you want to do a projection to know what the replacement cost is going to be on the long run. Construction slag, defect, and remediation schedule. It's not possible for a construction to be done, and at the end of the day, you have a picture perfect construction. There are always problems here and there. So it's very important, and those problems during construction, those defects are what they call snags, or some call them defect lists. You need that particular list, because that particular list is going to form the first part of your deferred maintenance, right? Because some of the issues will be resolved during the handover process, but some that will not be resolved will have to move into the facility management, into the operational stage. So you can use this particular list to start off your deferred maintenance log, and you can build and reduce the list as you go. Construction team and vendor details. This one is very important because if you need to call them back to fix something, or you need information about how something works or how something did not work, it's very important that you have their details. Equipment guarantee and warranty. Some equipment have guarantee and warranty, which means that if something spoils within a certain period of time, you are entitled to either a free maintenance or a discount maintenance. And having this documentation too will also help you to know how to interact with those equipment, because there are some equipment that have warranty that if you go and probably lose it, if your technician went to go and lose it trying to fix something, is going to violate the warranty, and the company is going to pay substantial money on that particular equipment if something goes wrong. So it's very important to know, to have all your equipment guarantee and warranty information, so that you will use that information to claim warranty in case something goes wrong. Manufacturer operation and maintenance manual. This is very, very, very key. You see the way I said very, 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 because a lot of facility managers have this problem of how do I determine, how do I come up with a maintenance management plan for my assets? How do I know? Should I manage it? Should I be servicing it every month? Should I be servicing it every three months? If I even want to service it every three months, what are the things I needed to do? Everything you need. Facility management is not rocket science, and nobody expects you to bring it from heaven, right? Your ability to read and write and understand basic construction drawing, you should be able to read technical documentation like your manufacturer operation and maintenance manual, goes a long way. Most of the things you will need to set up your PPM, your reactive maintenance and the like, you are likely going to find most of them, if not all, inside your operational and maintenance manual. Regulatory permit and other legal documentation, testing and commission results, contact information for equipment manufacturer and OEM reps, building systems and equipment specification, equipment component and part list. This is very super important, because there are some assets that have parts that get spoiled before even the major assets spoil. So you need some of these parts to be readily available, in so that if there's an issue, you can easily go to the store, pick those parts, and fix whatever the issue is, and restore your asset to full functionality. Equipment component and part list, we have talked about that. Recommended part list is very important. This also comes from the manufacturer, where they will tell you, for this particular equipment, these are the list of parts you must keep in your store. So in case that there's an issue, you can easily pull from store and fix that asset. Post implementation process, like I think I've said quite a lot about this. We are talking about checking in with the end users from time to time. That is to say, what we are talking about, I've installed the software, people are using it. Should I just leave them and say, I've done my own? No, you're on your own. No, anything you face, take it like that. No. Basically, what we are saying, that as much as you have installed the system, you have done a lot of tests, everything is working fine, there's no issue. It is very important that you check up on your user time to time. Oh, Mr. Tade, how is the software going? Hope there's no problem. Any issue, let me know. Are there problems and stuff like that? It's very important you do a full engagement, or to fully engage with your vendor with outstanding issues. Those issues that was not resolved during the implementation section, it is very important that you follow up with the vendor to close them out. Conduct a post-project debriefing for the next project. Publicly congratulate the implementation team. That is to say, let's assume I'm running an FM department, very big, and I probably selected some few people in my department to work with a vendor to implement a particular piece of software. At the end of the implementation and everything is successful, it won't be bad as probably the manager, the head of department, to have like a talk.
What are you doing?
To have a discussion with your team and publicly call out those team members that are involved with the implementation, the implementation process, and thank them, appreciate them, congratulate them for a work well done. Information requirement for facility management. Like I said, I think I've said quite a lot. FM information system like CAPM, CAD, integrated workplace management system, the computerized management, maintenance management system, the enterprise resources planning, We talk of enterprise asset management. We talk about building, I think building asset system. The BIM enable information retrieval from a virtual, accurate virtual model of a facility for routine operation, life cycle management, and capital planning. Unified, visualized information base. Analysis such as energy and sustainability, precise location and all relevant data on building component equipment, features and furnitures, space planning, security, emergency planning, simulation, identifying and scoping building issues. We look at what we have said here, some of the things we have discussed before now. What we are just saying now, what are the information that you will need with respect to implementation of FM technology in your facility. And we have talked about routine maintenance, life cycle maintenance, capital replacement. We want to do energy, how many energy are we consuming, and the likes and the likes. So let's quickly take the module 3 before we have like a 5-minute break. So facility management technology, we talked about asset stack with embedded data for tracking and monitoring of assets and activities. There's a piece of assets where you can geotag your asset to a location. That is to say, when an asset, maybe I have tagged an asset, that asset have like a sensor that kind of ping a server that communicate with the system that show the precise location of that asset. If somebody pick that asset and move that asset out of your premises, it's going to trip an alarm. If I don't know if you are used to maybe all these retailer shop like ShopRite, I don't know if they are being implemented in Nigeria, but in foreign countries, mostly US and the like, if a particular customer come into a shopping complex and shoplift that is stole their item and try to take it out, immediately he tries to take that particular item out of the store, the security alarm is going to go off, because there's a sensor that has been set up that tracks that particular item, which is not obvious to whoever is trying to steal it, because every item has a unique serial number, and if you pay for that particular item, that means the security on you will have been deactivated. But if you have not paid, it's still live, which means when you try to take it out, there will be an alarm. That same technology can be applied to your asset during the asset tagging, where you tag it and ensure. You can deploy some IoT to detect leakage. I think we implemented something similar a while ago, a water leakage solution where it will give the client signal if either of their tap or their water line is leaking. Intelligent waste collection powered by sensors in waste receptacles. There are some there are some robots that they are now selling now that you can just program and you put down on your site, and it goes to different offices trying to collect, data, clean the ground, sweeps, and probably goes to where the receptacle, which is the dustbin, and turn those stuff in there. Going forward, adjusting energy demand by also applying in reaction to dynamic energy pricing, which is more like an energy management system, cycle level energy saving through real-time insight in energy usage by load points. Is one of the key things we do in Max-Migold. Reduce in congestion in use of transportation infrastructure, such as load, parking space, real-time access to sensors, surveillance, video data for proactive occupant safety effort, data-driven decision-making at all levels of management result in effective solution to problems. Facility management technology, we have the mobile electronic device such as smartphone, tablet, laptop, remote lights, cooling, and everyday appliance. They are all FM technology. Appliances are equipped with sensors to monitor the condition of appliance for predictive maintenance to reveal or do not work as it should. Remote building monitoring and control combined with occupant recognition system for seamless and effective security management. I don't know, for some of you that are probably used to sensors, we'll talk about proximity sensors. If you have revolving doors, or you have, when you go to like mall, for example, Ikeja mall or something, when you are approaching the mall, you discover that the door will just open. Then you go in, immediately you go in, the door closes back. What they are trying to use there is what they will call proximity sensor. The sensor senses that an object is close by, and based on that object, it is obstructing, is blocking the ray of the sensor, and because of the programming that is said, that particular activity is going to set up a switch, either switch something on or switch something off. As such, it triggers the door control system to either open or close, right? We have contact sensor. Contact sensor means that when you touch it, it triggers something, right? There are pressure sensors, there are a lot of sensors. So some of these sensors can be deployed in some organization where you want your room to be smart. You can either put a sensor that senses the presence of an occupant, and once there's an occupant in that space, the light will come up, and probably maybe the HVAC system will come up. When there's nobody in the room for a certain number of minutes, it powers down, the ACs are off. In such a way, energy are being saved. We have talked about what we call Internet of Things, network with intelligent information and feedback by monitoring routine habits of occupants, landscape system measure and take care of optimal environment for plants. Facility management technology, we have talked about intelligent street lighting to reduce energy consumption and improve safety of citizens. There are some technology you can deploy that once it is dark, the environment is dark, it triggers the entire lighting system to come up, right? That particular system works with sun. Once the sun is not available, it will assume that, oh, it is night, and at that point, it triggers the entire lighting system to come up, right? We have robots, we have drones for surveillance. If you have a very tall building and you want to do a facility facilities inspection, especially the roof and the lights, the application of drone to fly across your building to take videos and to take pictures of areas you normally will not have access to is an application of FM technology. The use of big data analysis, that's the use of your Power BIs and the like to analyze a lot of data and determine the most likely causes of access. This is mostly used when you are dealing with reliability-centered maintenance, where you put sensors on your equipment, and as your equipment are working in real time, they are generating data that has been sent to servers, and those data can be captured and they can be analyzed. You call it big data because due to the real-time collection of data, you can have millions of data points that you want to analyze for you to uncover abnormality in your equipment operations, and you can make interesting decisions and the like. Predictive maintenance, data analytics combined with techniques like real-time condition monitoring to maintain your asset integrity. This one is talking about when you analyze your data, and based on your data can tell you, oh, your generator is due for services, your AC maintainer is due for services based on the based on some preset parameter. For example, I might be running my generator and I will say, once my generator is temperature goes beyond this particular level, I want to service. And as my generator is working, my sensors are monitoring maybe the temperature of the core or an area where we feel, maybe based on research, we know that once the temperature goes beyond a particular level, that means the what they call it, the generator is due for services. In some organizations where they are very focused on predictive maintenance, for example, a simple oil test can tell you if your generator is due for services, because once it's due for services, there'll be a higher rate of wear and tear. When you take a sample of your oil tails and you do what they call particle analysis on your oil tails, there's a minimum level of particle I'm supposed to find in my oil. If it goes beyond a particular threshold, that means that particular machine is due for service. When I was in Egmin power plant for a 1-year training, this oil test is one of the critical parts they use to test their turbine, to know if the turbine is working normally, or if there are issues with the turbine. Because if there are issues with the turbine and the lubrication system is not good, which means the oil needs replacement, it is the turbine shaft is going to worn out faster, which is very detrimental to the life, to the integrity of the turbine. So some of these tests are done, especially when you have rotating machines like your pumps and the like. It's very important that you do a regular test on their lubrication to know when it is time for you to probably replace that lubrication, or when it's due for you to do maybe a comprehensive overhauling on your piece of equipment. We have emergency app used to send an alert in case of emergency reportable incident, and can be automatically detect the location with the radio and video capturing. So a lot of features can be developed with respect to different problem or different deliverables that you are trying to achieve with respect to your facility management processes. So going forward, facility technology, as you can see here, we have smart energy aimed at the greener energy generation, lower energy consumption pattern with flat peak and resilient distribution grids. We have smart microgrids distributed generated with renewable energy. These are talking about solar energy. You are using it, you are combining your solar energy in such a way that you can use it to contribute to your energy sources so that it will reduce your total cost of energy. You have a bi-directional intelligent grid. This one is talking about, I think they're using, I was reading something on Twitter recently while someone was discussing something similar. What this one is talking about, in your house, you are probably using solar as a source of energy. Then you're also using the normal NEPA light. So what this one does is, once you generate enough solar light than what you can consume, right, the excess energy can be sold back to NEPA, and NEPA will pay you for those excess. Those are what we call bi-directional. But if the light you are generating from your solar is lower, that means you'll be buying the difference from the NEPA to make up whatever you need. So it's a bi-directional. That's why we call it bi-directional. That is to say, excess from one point can be sold to the other person, excess from the other person can be sold. So it gives you that flexibility that you can use your excess energy, sell them to your power provider, and probably in the future you can redeem it to pay for your whatever energy you have consumed later in the future. Intelligent monitoring that can report consumption of electrical energy in real time, interval of minutes, for demand management. What this one is saying that if you meter your entire facility in such a way that top management can have a dashboard to see what are they consuming in first floor, what are they consuming in whatever. Most importantly, you want to have this when you have maybe a multi-unit a facility where you want to monitor the different consumption of different section of your facility, especially residential. When you want to do, you want to have a better energy management system where everything is transparent and the like. Energy efficiency through smart app that can make customer more aware of energy usage and influence them to change their behavior. Responsive equipment that and appliance that temporarily stop consuming energy when demand for energy increase to lower than the peak level. Right? I've said something like that where you have sensors in a room. When nobody's in that room, you can sense that and you can take off all the energy consuming equipment and power down. I think I've used an hotel where they have a card. Once I enter the room, I use the card to enter. Once I enter there, I will slot the card inside a particular docket. When I slot it, the entire power in that particular room comes up. Then once I take it out, everything powers down. It helps the particular hotel to save energy, which means rooms that are vacant, nobody's inside, right? I will know that the energy there is zero. Now, if any of my staff is playing hanky-panky, I can probably look into the system and say, why is room 2 something energy? Why is it spiking? What is going on there? I'll look at my customer register. Okay, somebody came into room so and stayed in room so from this period to this period. According to this record, room 201 was not occupied, right? But I can see from my energy bill that room was occupied. What happened? So it's only a smarter way for people that are involved in maybe hotel business to ensure that they can have a kind of a better management of their hotel spaces so that people will not be doing a lot of funny stuff with their properties. So going forward, facility management technology, smart water solution aim at minimizing waste, securing quality as one of the pillars of sustainability. Leakage detection equipment have sensor to provide real-time insight in pressure, flow, quality to detect leaks. Water pollution prevention with sensors can measure the quality of water in real-time mode. Intelligent flood warning can use predictive analysis on weather forecast data combined with geographical data to forecast probably flooding zones and times. Predictive maintenance on water infrastructure to ensure that sensors in pipes measure flow pressure and acoustic signals. It is for those of us who are probably have engineering background, have done fluid mechanics and stuff like that, you will discover that when your water flow, it carries some acoustic signs or what they call sound with it, right? We said in physics, we say sound travels through a medium. It can be a gaseous medium like air. The reason why you can hear me now is because I am speaking and the sound wave is going through air, then into the laptop, through the internet, is coming towards your own system using the radio frequency system. That your point, your system converts it back to sound that gets propagated through the air, and your ears can decode those acoustic sound and make sound out of it that your brain can interpret to the sound you are hearing me speak at the moment. So you can still the same technology is used where sound travels. Ship use sonar to send what they call it sound underwater to detect what is ahead of them. I don't know, for some of you probably have maybe read about submarine, ship business, you discover that when you're under the sea, everywhere is dark. You can't see anything. The way the submarine system sees things is by sending sound waves. So once a sound wave hits something, it bounces back, and they use the time it takes for it to travel and come back to them to predict if there's something in front of them and how far that is. So the same information, the same basic technology or basic principle is being applied to sensors that can be used to do predictive maintenance and predict a lot of stuff that can be adopted to facility management technology. So at this point, I would like us to go for like a 5-minute break, and after that, we'll come back to conclude our lecture for today. Thank you. Okay. Yes, we are back. So, what are we discussing here? Okay. A look at the various FM software. So here we're talking about computerized maintenance management system. I remember back in those days, I always said a CMMM system is just a glorified Excel. And I still believe it up to today. It's just a glorified Excel. If you're a good Excel expert like myself, you can easily set up a simple CMMM solution to run your facility management operation without buying a fancy software to do the same tasks, right? You just need to know how to make use of maybe Google Form, Power Apps, and and Excel to automate the entire process. There are some solutions also in the market that allow you to build simple apps that does not require programming that you can use to do build a very simple computerized management system. So what is a computerized maintenance management system? It's a computer system that helps maintenance team to keep a record of all assets they are responsible for, schedule and track maintenance, keep an historical record of work they have performed, maintain a computer database of information on maintenance operation. Shikena, right? It's just a way of using computer to manage your maintenance management system. And what is the maintenance management system? Your maintenance management is just a combination of your asset register, your PPMs, your maintenance, your reactive maintenance schedule, your deferred maintenance log, and the history of all maintenance activity on your asset. Before the advent of computer maintenance management system, what we have is a maintenance log where we write all the maintenance activities you have performed on an asset on a day-to-day basis, and it's always a paper log. So what they have done is to convert that entire paper system into a computer system, which means it can hold as many information as possible, and I can easily query the system to get information on a particular asset without going through pages upon pages upon pages. And the fact that the book can be damaged, it can be lost, it can catch fire, but especially when you are using a cloud-based computer management system, all your information are on the cloud. Even if you let the system spoil, you can easily retrieve your information from the cloud. So basically, like I've said, a computer management, a CMMS solution is always centered around maintenance. Some organizations, some software vendor call it a maintenance management module, right? That's when you're having maybe a CAPM system. A CAPM system is not a CMMS. A CAPM system is a complete suite of solutions for FM, where CMMS is just a module inside a CAPM solution. So let's go forward. when you're trying to implement the CMMS, you're talking about get buy-in and commitment from management, define the requirement, include goals, expectation, hardware, timeline, gather a list of all assets, which is talking about your asset register, document all planned preventive maintenance procedure, select a CMMS software that suits your need, import any data you have from existing system using spreadsheets, add users and user groups to your CMMS, add your assets to CMMS, and add schedule maintenance and set triggers. Pian, congratulations, you now have a complete CMMS solution, and you can go live with it. Then on a regular basis, you do a continuous improvement by reviewing, renewing, refining, and customizing. The fact that you have set up your system doesn't mean that's the end of the journey. You have to keep tweaking until you get a best solution out of the software. Like I said, technology is supposed to adapt to a business, not the other way around, which means you will keep tweaking your solution until you are able to adapt it fully to your business processes. We have a CAPM, is what we call computer-aided facility management. As the name implies, what he's saying that computer is helping facility management, right? You want to use computer to help facility management, right? Which means it's a supporting system that helps you drive facility management processes. The CAPM system, the support of facility management by using information technology, the software, the system that enable facility manager to increase utility of space and facility, increase office or building movement and relocation, plan preventive maintenance. Like I said, the CMMS is like a unit inside the CAPM system. You can either have the full CAPM solution, or you can just buy the CMMS solution as a standalone package, depending on whatever you feel is important, your peculiar organization. Effective execution of reactive maintenance. All these two are option inside your CMMS unit inside a CAPM solution. Standardized service and streamlined process, track, manage, report, and plan facility operations. Purpose of CAPM: it helps the facility manager to ensure that assets are fully utilized at the lowest possible cost, support operational and strategic facility management. Benefit of the continuation: effective strategic planning, effective space inventory and management, space forecasting, reduced movement and relocation activity, continuous improvement in facility efficiency, improve project planning, fast and accurate reporting of critical facility information. Existing processes will become more efficient and streamlined, improve safety and environmental planning capability, significant improvement in disaster planning and planning capacity, data standardization across organizations. The list goes on and on and on, and if you have been listening to what I've said, I probably have explained a lot of these, right? They are not really things that are new to us. You have probably heard about strategic planning, space inventory, facility relocation, and the like. So most of what you have learned in this course so far, those are some of the things you can implement with a good CAPM solution. CAPM implementation: a defined factor in the success of any CAPM system is underpinned by the quality and the skill set of those involved in the implementation and the ongoing administration and management of the CAPM system. What we are simply saying here that for you to be successful in your CAPM implementation, you need a team of experienced professionals, people that understand the system, people that understand the process to be able to implement the system. And you also need trained people that will be able to, and you need trained people that will be able to help you to administer. That is to say, if you have a CAPM system deployed, to an organization, you probably will need a CAFM system administrator, somebody trained specifically to manage the system. In such doing, the person will be the go-to person in case there's a problem. You should be able to fix it, troubleshoot issues internally before you now probably, if you cannot fix anything, then you can probably escalate to the vendor. In the initial phase of securing a CAFM system, having a clear understanding of your goal and objective, perform a need analysis, outline system specification, having select a CAFM system that is fit for purpose and within budget, invest in professional implementation and project management, employ the resource of an experienced and technically enabled CAFM professional, outline the best practice approach to system implementation. Challenges of CAFM solution is shrinking maintenance budgets. Most of the time, you don't have enough budget to implement the CAFM solution. Resources constraint, you don't have enough resources. Political priorities as an organization. If you are not good with politics in your organization, you won't probably get the necessary funding for your CAFM project. Unfunded mandate, distributed data, and data disparity. If you don't have a structured data system in your organization, it's going to affect the kind of data, the quality of data that go into your CAFM system. And like I said earlier, computer is garbage in, garbage in. You put nonsense, you get nonsense. Organizational stovepipe. Basically, this is talking about the entire organization structure and the way the organization culture and whatever affects the overall organization relationship. The challenge for facility manager is to overcome this obstacle by utilize the resources available and convince management that efficiency and cost saving can be achieved with investment in technology such as a well-planned CAFM system. What we are trying to say is for you to be able to overcome all these challenges we have talked about, we have to look at, okay, fine, what are the resources do I have? Can I use the resources to achieve this? If I cannot use these resources to achieve this, what can I say to the top management to convince them that when we invest in this, if we invest X naira in this technology, we should be able to make these savings on the long run. So it not depend on your ability to write a very convincing or present a very convincing business case to top management. What is BIM? BIM is called Building Information Modeling. Is an intelligent 3D modeling, 3D model-based process that equips business building professionals with the insight, tools, and efficiency, plan, design, construct, manage building and infrastructure. The generation and the management of digital representation of your physical and functional characteristics of spaces. Now, there's very interesting, there's two interesting aspects of building information modeling, right? It's not just about the 3D modeling, right? It's all about the functional characteristics. That is to say, the components you have built, which are 3D objects inside your system, are intelligent objects. That is to say, they have the functional characteristics of what you are trying to build. For example, one of the software we use in building information modeling is Revit. If I model a wall inside Revit, the functional characteristics of a wall is actually integrated into the 3D model, which means when I bring a door close to the wall recognizes the door, and the door recognizes the wall, and they can integrate and create a wall opening for me to place the wall, right? And they can understand the interrelationship between a wall and a door. When I bring a window, right, it can recognize, oh, this is a window. This is how a window should always look on the wall, right? This enables us to take our conceptual idea into a virtual reality and use it to build a digital copy of what our facility will look like in 3D formats, and also build in what we call the functional characteristics. When we say functional characteristics, we are talking about the function of what the building is meant to perform in real life. We can simulate that characteristic in a virtual environment. File which can be exchanged or networked to support decision making about a digital representation of the physical and functional character of a facility, a shared knowledge resources for information about a facility, forming a reliable basis for decisions during the life cycle of a building. You can probably read a lot about information modeling to facility management. What is the importance? You will have seen a lot of architects coming up with fancy 3D model, and you're like, wow, 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 wow. Well, as far as facility management is concerned, we are not interested in the wow, 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 wow you are saying. What we are interested is the functional characteristics embedded in those 3D images that we can extract, you can extract out using the Kobe format, because that's what is going to go into our own CAPEX system and other FM technology that we need to manage those information in order for us to come up with realistic data-based decision making with respect to the life cycle of our facility. Important of BIM is bring together all the information about every component of the building in one place. Used to illustrate the entire life cycle of the entire building life cycle, schedule, estimate, and do risk analysis. I have seen a BIM model that was used to do a fire drill, right? The 3D model was set up and a simulation was done to analyze how long it is going to take people within the building in a virtual environment. If there's a fire incident, how long is going to take them to come out through the designated exit points, right? And you want to look at, you want to analyze using computer simulation, the ease of people getting out of that space to the muster point. Everything was implemented with BIM, right? You can do you can do your energy analysis, sustainability analysis, even your project management analysis, and a lot of analysis you can do with your BIM, right? More collaborative process and better facility management, It brings the opportunity to try out solution in advance before the building structure, for building the structure on site. Like I said, a drill was performed on a digital prototype of a building to ensure that when this building is finally made with the various exit points, you want to know if those exit points are adequate enough before you go to site and start digging the ground, which saves you a lot of the work, a lot of variation during the project process. It improves productivity, reduce costs, reduce rework, provide related documents, give complete project snapshots, improve coordination, and enhance customer satisfaction. What is BMS? BMS is simply what we call building management system. For some of you that have managed maybe high-rising building, commercial real estate, you will probably have come up with one or two building BMS solutions to manage maybe this is solution to manage the chiller system. You just have a dashboard on your system where in your office you can either on the chiller, you can off the chiller, you can off the water pump, you can off the water pump, you can on the generator, you can off the generator without leaving your office. So it's a control system that can be used to monitor, manage the mechanical, electrical, and electromechanical services in a facility. It's stored as a standalone application, or it can be integrated with the monitoring program. Can monitor and manage a wide range of building services across multiple platforms. Primary function to control heating and cooling by managing the system that distributes air throughout the building. You can use to vary the dampers in such a way that inside your duct, you want to open the damper to reduce the damper so that you control the volume of air that goes into a space. Secondary function is monitoring the level of human-generated CO2 mixed outside air and waste air to increase the amount of oxygen while minimizing the heat and cooling loss in a building. Benefit of BMS, good control of internal comfort condition, possibility of individual room control, increased staff productivity, effective monitoring and targeting of energy consumption, improved plant reliability and life, effective response to HVAC-related complaints, save time, money during the maintenance. Maintenance company, ease of information availability. So what we are talking about is what's the benefit of BMS to maintenance company. Ease of information availability, because when you have a problem in your facility and the facility is BMM enabled, the first thing you want to do, you want to go into your BMS solution, look at that particular component. There will be an error code or maybe an error message on your display saying, oh, there's a fault with this particular machine. And with my knowledge of automation, every error code on your BMS system is referring to a particular problem in your equipment, which means if you refer to the BMS code book, you'll be able to pick out exactly what the problem is. And for some of you that are probably used to vehicles and drive vehicles, that you can use this diagnostic machine to read, you discover that if you take your machine, your vehicle to where they want to do diagnosis, they are going to plug a computer into your system, and once they plug a computer, it's going to run a diagnostic check on all the systems in your vehicle, and based on that, it's going to probably display a code, and the person, based on experience or having a reference or whatever, you can look at that code and so based on this code, though, what is saying that there's maybe your brain box, there's something wrong with your brain box, and because of that diagnostic information, you'll be able to go straight to the brain box and do further troubleshooting and to figure what the issue is. For some of you that are probably familiar with browser, internet browsing, imagine that there's sometimes that when you try to browse, you see error 404 or error 504. That code refers to a particular information, right? Maybe server not found, problem with connectivity. The same fundamental is used with respect to the BMS solution, right? If there's probably low voltage on your equipment, if the equipment is properly configured, there will be an error code signaling you that there's a problem with voltage, or maybe there's a problem with current, maybe there's high temperature, or maybe the equipment is not working as a particular whatever, maybe the pressure is low and stuff like that. So those information helps a lot when you're trying to do troubleshooting to figure out what the problem is. Right? Imagine you have a chiller system with thousands of equipment and something is wrong and you can't figure it, and I have to be going from one point to the other in my chiller system to try to figure out what the problem is. But if I have a building maintenance system, I can simply look at my dashboard on my BMS and it will tell me exactly where the problem is in the system. And we can go straight to that point, problem, fix it. In such way, we save time and we save resources, and as a result, we lower the overall maintenance cost. Computerized maintenance scheduling, effective use of maintenance staff, early detection of problem, I've said this, and service work easy, more satisfied occupants. Well, your occupant will be satisfied because if you are able to resolve the maintenance complaint as fast as possible, everybody is happy. I can go home happy, they can go home happy, and everybody is happy. When you are trying to implement a building maintenance system, there's what we call the pre-system installation. That is, there's some stuff you need to install on your system before the main installation. Then we talked about the main installation. We talked about the phase 1 go live, which is the first time you want to test your system. There will be additional training for the team on ground. They will do a second, which is called phase 2 going live, where in the phase 1, the implementation team will probably be showing the in-house staff how the system works, then train them on how the system works, And in the phase 2, the maintenance, the internal staff will probably be working with the implementation team while they are operating the system themselves, probably asking questions, and the implementation team is probably observing and probably making a course correction as they go. We talk about building automation system, which is the BAS. Is quite similar to the BMS system, but what this is focusing on is more of automating the entire building system, where they can on, off, depending on different parameter sets in the system. Right? The building automation system is the goal that the BAS attempt to achieve, designed to monitor and control the mechanical and electrical system in a building. Centralized, interlinked network of hardware and software which monitor and control building environment. A building controlled by BAS is often referred to as an intelligent or smart building, right? Your building can detect when people are not there, can off the lights. Your lift can know when people are not available, it can power down, right? Your chiller system can know that, oh, the total load in this building does not need me to run in full capacity, and because of that, it can reduce the capacity. Maybe you have 6 chillers at full capacity, the 6 will be running, but when the load reduced, the 6 can drop to 3. If you further reduce, it can drop to 1. In fact, if you further reduce, even the 1 can be running at half capacity. In such a way, you are conserving power and reducing energy wastage. Benefit of ABS is basically energy savings. It is estimated that BAS can save a business between 5 to 30 on utility cost by managing the HVAC and the lighting system. Reduce environmental impact, improve security, building maintenance, operator convenience, real-time status update, and constant access and time saving. What does a BAS can do? What can you do? What can we use it for? I've said it, we can use it to set up our lighting and HVAC system to operate at a schedule that can make those systems more intelligent and efficient. Get the various components and facilities within a building to coordinate and work together towards a greater overall efficiency. Optimize the flow of incoming out air to regulate freshness, temperature, comfort, and increase building. You can tell when an AC unit is running in both heating and cooling, helping to reduce utility costs. You can use in foreign country where the environment can get extremely cold or extremely hot, right? If you have an ABS system during the extremely cold system period, it will convert the external unit to it will convert it, instead of bringing cold air into the building, it will reverse the system, turn the condenser to an evaporator, and turn the evaporator to a condenser, and reverse the cycle, in where hot air will be coming inside and cold air will be going outside. And during the period where the external environment is super hot, it will reverse itself again, where hot air will be going outside and cold air will be coming inside. You can easily automate the entire process using a BA building automation system. It can be used when an emergency such as fire breaks and it turn off all any facility that can endanger the building. Yes, if you are very familiar with the fire management system, or during emergency, you discover that during fire outbreak, one of the first things you want to do is to limit the inflow of air into the premises, because when we are talking about the 3 triangle of fire, we are talking about the fuel, the material, and air. These 3 components have to come together to form what we call the triangle of fire. Before a fire can be made, it needs fuel, it needs air, and it needs material, something to burn, right? So when you have a building automation system, most of the time it's always integrated with your fire alarm system. Once a fire is detected and there's a confirmed fire, what it will do, it is going to do is your BAS is going to shut down your air conditioning system. And once it shut down your air conditioner system, they will not work, which means you will not be able to transmit smoke from one point of the building to another to make it easy for occupants to escape. Also, there's something we call fire damper in your ducts. Fire damper means that it's more like a louvers that your BAS is going to trigger and they are going to short. What happens is that it's going to prevent fire from traveling from one location to another using the air conditioner duct. Also, it prevents smoke from moving from one location to another. So this particular system can be triggered and be managed using the building automation system, and it makes it super effective, right? Also, your BAS system also, if you have a very good BAS system during emergency, you know, on a normal day, you have all these automatic door that use access card that is using this magnetic lock, so that once you close the door locks. It only allow maybe authorized people with the right access to come in. But during emergency, it's going to power down all the access control door, and every door will be easy to open, right? And the same system will ensure that your lift is shut down to discourage people from using the lift during fire incident or during emergency, right? So this system is so intelligent that it can manage a lot of things during emergency period, because we discovered that during emergency period, human beings are super disorganized, and they are in disarray. People can't coordinate themselves because people are panicking. So you need a smart system that can make decisions without the entire human emotion and everything, and it's going to do what it ought to do without being afraid, oh, why is going to bomb me? Well, computer does not really care. It will do what it's supposed to do. Your BAS can detect a problem with one of the building systems, can identify who and when someone is entering and leaving a building. It can turn a camera on and begin to record when an activity takes place and send an alert and direct camera feed. If you remember when I was talking about the use of technology, I said something, I make mention of this thing where, oh, I want to monitor a diesel. Then I can put a camera with some sensor that once somebody comes to a diesel tank, you start recording at that point. And once you finish recording, you send it to whoever and allow the person, somebody comes to your diesel tank, go and look at it. So we'll be able to know, oh, so it's Akman that is stealing our diesel. You get, so it's very important. You find this kind of system in some of the, for example, if you go to the other, some of these high-rising, grade A buildings, these are kind of systems you find there. So it's very important if you have intention or you have interest or you have aspiration that all these big houses that I'm seeing in Ikoyi, all these big offices, one day I want to manage them. These are some of the things you start to read about: building automation system, building management system, CAFM system, CMM solution, BIM solution, so that you get familiarized with some of these technologies. So by the time you go for interviews and people are asking you some of this, you can tell them, oh, this is how this solution works, this is how this technology works, this is how to implement this technology. So what are the barriers? Current reality, poor quality and inadequate data. This one was one of the edges when it comes to application of technology to FM. Lack of data inconsistency, interoperability, and inaccuracy. What we are saying here, this particular keyword is very important. When you are trying to choose a technology, you want to ensure that the data you are getting from your technology can be used with other technology that you have. And the data from those technologies can also is compatible with the new technology. FM scramble for information to react to facility issue, building data from the architecture, engineering, and construction comes in on all sorts, paper, flyers, CD format, documentation in forum management decision, 2D card drawing, non-maintained, incomplete details, not as viewed, secret bill of quantity problem. Especially in Nigeria, you discover that if when FM asks the construction company or the contractor to give them the bill of quantity, you see people trying to hide because they have done a lot of malpractices and a lot of mumbo jumbo during the construction to inflate the quantity of the bill of quantity. And you discover that when you go to bill of, maybe you have said, oh, they want to install 10 components, and the company probably pay them money for the 10. But when you go on site, you discover that it's only 5 that was installed, even though the company paid for 10. So in such a practice, when you ask for bill of quantity, most construction companies will not be willing to give you such documentation. Missing equipment asset register with required details. This one is one of the biggest headaches you will probably face as an FM professional. Asset list created for insurance purpose, not for FM, right? We have a lot of asset lists that is majorly focused on insurance. Most of those lists are not fully, does not capture everything, probably just capture few assets that the company is trying to insure. Various equipment lists for contracts, incomplete equipment inventory from the architecture and engineering and construction team. Document in a binder by project, some project missing, binder of maintenance history, paperwork order from contractor. Hold on. Ability to operate effective is on brand. Cannot provide reliable drawings to contractor. Contained as view drawing never received. Many are not as viewed, just relatable. I think I discussed this earlier on that, especially in Nigeria, you discover that if you are taking over new construction, you discover that the drawing you are giving that was labeled as view drawing is not really as view drawing, right? There has been a lot of alteration during the construction period that was not updated in the drawing. The data is not organized in the readable database for easy filtering, grouping, and searching. Some equipment are not captured in any list and cannot be maintained. Poor information for life cycle costing. Garbage into FM system also means garbage out of rubbish. 7 deadly sins of technology deployment. Lack of realistic expectation, right? You have a very, crazy, fantastic idea, expectation of your system that is outside the realm of reality. Lack of specific outcome, lack of commitment, lack of planning, lack of quality, lack of communication, and lack of authority. At this point in this lecture, I think I've come to the end of the lecture. If you have questions, suggestions, contribution, addition, and subtraction, the floor is open. You can ask your questions. Question. Any question from anyone? Any aspect you need further clarification? Right, somebody saying something? Okay, I will just assume that we all understood what we have discussed. And if you probably later figured that you needed to ask questions, you can drop it on the WhatsApp group. We'll do our best to answer as many questions as possible. I think at this junction, I think I'm permitted to say happy independence to our our Nigerian people, I think somebody dropped us a question. What is lack of authority? Lack of authority means that you don't have, maybe I'm the facility manager, I'm trying to implement a piece of technology. If I don't have the required level of authority to approve some certain, to make some certain decisions during the technological implementation, there's likelihood that we are going to run into problems, right? If there's a lot of bureaucracy in decision making during the implementation, we are going to run into the a lot of problems during the implementation, and it will probably lead to implementation failure. So if you don't have the right, maybe if the people involved in the implementation of the solution does not have the right approval level or the right authorization to make some certain important decision, is what we call lack of authority. Hope I'm able to clarify that. So at this junction, I think it's fair to say happy independence to our Nigerians, but I don't know, we might have some other non-Nigerian in our midst. So for the Nigerians, happy independence. And I think tomorrow is weekend, so I can call it happy weekend. Thank God it's Friday, and we'll see some other time. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Let me go to my house.
Thank you so much, sir.